That seems interesting. Greetings to you all and welcome to Slay the Spire, Who Needs Relics, with me, Artega Omega. Now, as you can probably tell from my achievements page, I'm not the best player of Slay the Spire, but there is one achievement there that sounds like a fun challenge. I want to go for it. I thought I'd bring you along. The challenge is Who Needs Relics, which challenges you to complete the game with only one relic. If you don't understand any of those words, don't worry, I'll explain as I go along. For the newer players, if you're very experienced in watching this video, hi, just zone out. So we have a choice of 4 characters who we can play as, and the character that we select will determine what cards are available to us. This is a deck building card game. Your cards are basically your attacks, so we're essentially just picking our class and our attacks by proxy. However, there is one other thing to consider. Each class starts with a different relic, and we're only allowed one relic, so it seems prudent to pick a class that has a good relic. I hate this class, I hate this relic. Good class? Maybe not the best for this. Silence probably a very good choice for this, thinking about it. I could see it. However, the Ironclad is easy to play, and that's what I like. The Ironclad has what I suppose you'd call HP regen, which means you can make mistakes and not be heavily punished. And I like that. So this is the nature of the game. There are 3 worlds. A world is a piece of paper, don't ask. You start at the bottom, you have to get to the top, you follow the dashed lines, you can go forwards, never backwards. Basically, each row is a level, I suppose you could say, or a fight, or an event. You will have to do one thing on each row, depending on the path you take. You need to get to the top, fight the boss. Simple stuff, right? Right, good. Combat. We have cards, we have mana, which is energy, not mana. So, for example, 3 energy, card costs 2, card costs 1. I can play both those cards. That would be completely redundant because I don't need to defend when my opponent isn't attacking. How do I know when my opponent's attacking? The number 6 and a dagger. Look, the game even helps you. This enemy intends to attack for 6 damage. I intend to block for 5 damage. Wonderful. There was absolutely no reason for me to do that. I could have just taken the hit and healed it back anyway. So all I did was waste my own time. Good stuff. Taking Rampage. It's a really bad card unless you have a very specific deck. I don't have that deck, therefore it's a terrible choice. But the number on it was fairly large. Now, I do tend to play this game relatively quickly. So apologies, but you'll see it. I could just deliberately play it super slow, but you'd feel insulted. The real choices to be made are when I'm offered cards. Different types of cards. I'll take that one because it allows me to demonstrate something. Welcome to the shop. Gold up here can be spent within the shop. What do I like to do? I like to remove cards, especially because I have a rampage. All will become clear. Now you may be thinking to yourself, why would you remove a card? Didn't I just take an attack out of my deck? How is that possibly good? Well, you see 5 cards in my hand, you see 6 cards down here. Once I have exhausted all of my cards, I will reshuffle my deck and go again. So making your deck smaller isn't necessarily bad, because if I can make my deck smaller by removing bad cards and leaving in good cards, I will get back around to my good cards again faster. Why did I try to defend that? I'm not very good at following this no relics rule, am I? Okay, guys, that was the tutorial on how to play the game. That's all complete now. Everybody knows what's going on. Greetings, whale. Give me the health. And off we go again. Just for clarity of what happened there, I had an event, and the event rewards you with a relic, and I instinctively took the reward because I'm so used to doing that when I play this game, and I forgot what we were going for. Or, alternatively, we could pretend I knew that my plan was awful, and so I abandoned ship strategically, in a way that no one realized. Sure, we'll full block that. So a lot of this game comes down to deciding what you want to eat in terms of damage and what you want to block. Obviously I could have defeated that enemy a lot faster had I just blocked less and attacked more. But health is a very valuable resource in this game. And as such, I don't mind taking an extra couple of turns if it means I can preserve my life. Like here, for example. I'm definitely blocking twice. And then I'm going to strike with the other one. And the reason I'm doing that is because I heal for 6 at the end of combat, so I don't mind taking up to 6 damage. That's no problem. But any more than 6, and I'm crying myself to sleep tonight. Allow me to show you power cards. Cards with circles and the word power. Probably should have pointed out the word before the circle, but that's how your eyes recognize it. It's by the circle, trust me. Power cards. These are passives. I now gain 3 block at the end of my turn. Had to double check if it was start or end. Behold, the number 3. Number 3, number 8, their forces combined. Probably should have blocked that on reflection. But whatever. We're going fast. I'll take an armaments. Go this way. This is the campfire. Campfires are very useful squares that we shall strive to visit. 2 main options and 1 option we're going to pretend doesn't exist. Rest gets my health back. Smith upgrades a card. By far and away the best thing we can do. Let me give you a more simplistic example of an upgrade. 6 to 9. 3 to 4. Here's a slightly more confusing one. Perfect Strike. Deals 6 damage by itself and deals 2 damage for all additional cards in your deck containing the word strike. Changes the additional part from 2 to 3. Simple stuff. Armaments' upgrade is not simple, but you haven't seen base armaments, so it doesn't matter. Now this chap, he won't wake up until we actually deal damage to his life, and he's protected by the same metallicize as I am. Yeah, I am. So if I hit him here for 9 damage... Wait, 6 damage? 9 damage? What's going on? Never mind. If I strike him for 9 damage here, I will deal actual physical damage to his health, and that will wake him, ready for combat. Like so. Now what you should actually do is not wake him when you're only doing a small amount of damage. You should wait until you can really inflict a big hit on him. Don't play like I play. It's very bad. But why 6? Became 9. It's because of this heart with a... I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like a vine creeping inside it. Let's demonstrate again. That means that the opponent is vulnerable. And the number is just how many turns it lasts for. Tells you that the enemy will take additional damage. 50% additional damage, to be precise. Elite defeated. And what's the benefit of defeating an elite? Well, you get a relic. Wonderful. How useful. Wait, why did I even go that path and fight that thing? Habits are so hard to break in this game. Hey, a chest with a relic inside. We could lose HP for a chance of finding a relic. The game's just throwing them at me now. Maybe we should buy ourselves a relic. That could really help out. Removing a card with the word strike. Seems like a good move, but then again, we'll make perfected strike weaker. Get rid of bash. It's too expensive for my tastes. Get out of here. So close to killing him. Must play properly. Must reduce damage. So upgraded Armaments is an interesting card. What it does is it upgrades every card that's currently in your hand. And that sounds good in its own right, but it's even better than you think. Because I can combo it together with other cards that, for example, make me draw more cards. That way I could be holding 10 cards at once and upgrade them all, instead of just my usual 5. The effect's only temporary though, the cards will revert at the end of the combat. Go on then, we'll play properly. How does anyone look at this card and not just go, BAM? Again, not a good play, but satisfying. In a way that defending wouldn't be. So here I can see my opponent isn't planning to attack, so there's no need to defend. But I have 3 mana, and I only have 2 mana in attacks, so I'm going to play the Armaments anyway. Firstly, it will make my attack stronger, which is good. But simply upgrading the cards is always going to be a benefit to me, if there's nothing better to do. I'm getting some potions, I'll explore those later. We don't need to rest. This is the advantage of the Ironclad really, because he regenerates HP after every combat. Very rarely do you need to actually camp at campfires, which means you can spend more time upgrading at campfires. You may be thinking, well, why are you wasting your time upgrading when you already have that incredible Armaments card? Well, like now, for example. I can't wait for Armaments to find a Bludgeon. Bludgeon has already found the boss. So this chap has an interesting component to him. An odd mechanic. When his health is under 50%, he will split into 2 smaller slimes, as is tradition with slime-based enemies. Behold. Now what you're supposed to do is not what I just did. You're supposed to hit him with the largest hit you can, right when you split him. That way, instead of the 2 sub-slimes having 63 hit points, they will have something like 20. Fear not, however, because if I bludgeon this, we can still have our 2 slimes with 20 HP. If you're an A, doubt the situation has got worse by me doing that, once again. But that's fine. Don't worry about it. Slimed. This is an interesting card. So this was an attack done by this green chap back here when he hit me. He put this card into my deck, and the card serves no purpose. It costs 1 mana to exhaust, but it doesn't do anything. Why do I have this card? Well, it's a debuff. It's a negative effect. It exists to clog up my deck, so that I will draw that card when I don't want to, instead of better cards, and it makes the fight more difficult for me. I suppose in terms of regular RPGs it's similar to slow, the time magic slow, because my powerful attacks are all further away in my deck. It's almost like having a longer cooldown, just to try and give it an equivalence. This guy will split again once he gets to 50% of his health. Now, I know I'm not doing so, I can be rather cavalier with my health at this moment in time, because after a boss you do get a full heal for free. We'll do this properly with the bludgeon. So what I'm going to do is get him to approach half of his HP, which is what, 32. I think that's how rounding works. Upgrade that, should deal 6. That's pretty good. And now I'm going to do nothing except defend until I find bludgeon. And behold, the tactic. Now we get 2 puny little slimes. See, we can play strategy games. Wonderful, we get a good potion. We get a rare card. Look at these beautiful cards. Double tap. There's potential here. Imagine double tap. Read it. Imagine double tap and then bludgeon. Ooh. Feed. That's your card for the long game. Feed will gradually bump up your max HP over the course of the entire playthrough. Ascent. Ascent? Yes, we're going up a tower. Or spire. Ascent. Good for the long playthrough. And then we've got Brutality. I don't like that card. I'm going to take Feed. It's safer. Of course, more importantly, we get a boss relic. The most powerful relic of all. Wonderful. Not only do you get a boss relic, you get a choice of 3, so you can pick the one that's best for your build. Beautiful stuff. That's irritating. So what does Feed do? I made a big deal of it. Feed, if you get the killing blow with Feed, permanently increases your HP. But you may only use Feed once per combat. Once you use it, it will exhaust, which means it vaporizes, and it cannot be used again. I'm going to go for a very cowardly tactic here, where I basically just defend and let this guy leave. These chaps are thieves. They will steal my money, which is not very nice. You have to kill them in time before they run away, because if they run away, then they successfully steal your money and you never get it back. Please demonstrate. Wonderful. I like Pommel Strike. It's a good card. This is a very powerful ability, but I don't think it fits here. So don't worry about it. What it would have done is it would have replaced one of my strikes, which are my basic attacks, with a different basic attack, one called Bite that steals some HP from the enemy, gives you a bit of life leech. The downside is that you become a vampire, and so you become naturally weaker. Which I could have overcome using my feed card, now that I think about it. Probably a mistake. Good grief, I'm gonna take somewhat of a beating here, aren't I? Right, the enemies are getting a little bit stronger now. We're on the second floor, or second level. We're on the 20th floor, technically speaking. We may have to resort to using some potions. I probably should use some of these. Let's use this one. Why not? This lets us pick a card, and we can have this card for the rest of this combat, but then we lose it again. Temporary card. It's also free the first time we play it, which means that this one, which usually costs 2, is better value for money. Not necessarily the card I need in this exact moment, but good value. Now feed deals 10 damage, so you're probably thinking I need to get this thing under 10 in order to consume it. And you're right, it does need to be under 10, but specifically it needs to be under 5. Or equal to. 93 health. Ooh, look at this for pointing to show what I'm talking about. 93 health. 96. Maximum. So why did I need the enemy to be under 5 when it clearly says it deals 10 damage? Well, these enemies have the flight effect, which causes them to take 50% less damage. But if we hit the enemy 3 times, they fall from the sky. I would demonstrate, but I don't have 3 attacks that I can perform this turn, because Perfected Strike costs 2 mana, not 1. This turn, however, I can demonstrate. So I'm gonna whack this guy at the back 3 times to make him fall. What does that do? Let's see. 1, 2, 3. He is now grounded. He has a kink in his neck, and he is dazed. He's lost his flight effect, which means he now takes full damage instead of half damage, and he becomes pathetically weak. And now we shall overkill him. Satisfying sound. I'll take another shrug. Another choice here, another very powerful choice. Not something I want to get into in this playthrough. This is a terrible opening hand against this enemy. I think I'm just going to have to defend it. That was a substantially better hand because it let me get my Metallicize working, and this is a permanent effect once it's played, so... And this is the best turn so far, as you can imagine. Any turn I get to play Bludgeon is a good turn. Can I kill this? Nope. 30 damage, even ignoring its malleable effect, which will make it substantially less than 30 damage. Yeah, that's not a bad card. What I really should do here is I should try and set up a feed, because that would give me a permanent advantage. Yeah, right, Bludgeon. Oh, I do like Flame Barrier, but it's a bit expensive for my tastes. I don't think I explicitly said, but the icons on the map do show you what you're coming up against, so obviously little skull is an enemy. Question mark could be anything, it could be an event, it could be a chest, it could be an enemy. Big angry skull is an elite monster. Usually they're really good to fight. You'd think you want to dodge them because they're difficult, but you probably should fight a lot of them when you're playing properly, because they drop relics, and relics are incredibly powerful, but we're not allowed relics, so I'm not going to fight a powerful enemy for no benefit. I am trying to win. Shall improve feed, which improves the permanent gain of feed as well. So good to upgrade it as soon as possible. We'll just slash at that text bubble there to make it disappear so I can have a proper look. What have I got here? This is unreliable. This is a combo card to be played with cards that damage yourself. We saw one of them earlier, Brutality. This is a combo card to be played with cards that give you strength, of which I have none. This is a combo card to be played with very powerful cards that exhaust themselves. So there are some cards which are exceptionally strong, but you can only use them once per combat because they exhaust. This lets you play that powerful card again. Nothing here looks good for me. There's a potion here that looks good for me, but I'd rather just trim my deck a bit. I'm going to get rid of one of my defends because I have 2 shrugs. And Shrug It Off is just by far a better version of the defend card. Just planning my route here, deciding if I want to hit this shop or not. I don't think I do. I think I'm going to go this way. Another upgrade. I'll upgrade Iron Wave. I love Iron Wave. It's one of my favourite cards. It's very boring. Hey, chest. It's very boring, but it's such a good all-around card, and then it lets you both attack and defend with the same move. Fear my bludgeon. Now, this chap here is called Snecko. You can see his name beneath his HP. Everybody loves Snecko. He randomizes the mana cost of all of your cards for the rest of combat. There are ways of avoiding his effect, but those ways are not available to us. So we're just going to have to roll the dice and see what we get. Choices here. I can play any one card of my choice. This one does some damage and nothing else. This one is 4 block. This one is 5 block. This one is 5 block. This one will upgrade this one. So Armaments is better than Defend. But Metallicize is 4 block every turn. So I think I'm going to take that. Could kill this using a potion together with a bludgeon. But let's see what we get first of all. I'm happy to play this out. I'm going to block 15 damage of the incoming 22. It's not the end of the world. And then we can just not kill him, because apparently all of my strikes are ridiculously expensive. Ugh. Now I'm trying to decide if I can wait for feed, which would be the right play. I block 4, 9, 13. So that's 21, I think I block. I'm going to do it. Now we can feed for an extra 4 HP. And if you're wondering why that math didn't seem right... Ooh, another shrug. Go on then. It's because the Armaments upgraded to the Defend card, which made it block an extra 3 damage. 2 bad looking dudes. I'm going to use my Duplicate Potion. My next card is played twice. You know what card's coming. Oh, I could really, really injure this guy. But I'm just going to go for the kill and then slowly work down this other guy. So what this guy, what's his name? Chosen. That's not a great name. Sorry, that's rude of me. My apologies, Chosen. Great name. So what Chosen has done here is he has cursed me with this ability, Hex. Whenever I play a non-attack, yes, whenever I play a non-attack, I get debilitated with a status card. Do I have any more to show you? No, I don't. That status card is called Dazed. It just takes up space for one turn, and then it disappears by itself. So it's not that bad of a status card. It's not as powerful as Slimed that we saw earlier. But potentially I could end up dazing myself a lot in that fight if I didn't just go all out punching him in the face. Uppercut helps me punch people. HP starting to look a little low here. $18 coming in. Now the rat has a rather irritating ability. When you kill him, you will become vulnerable, which means you'll take 50% more damage. So I'm looking at this that says it does 10, but I'm thinking about killing this. So this guy's actually going to deal 15 to me this turn. But I think I'm okay with that. As you can see, the damage updates dynamically. This isn't the most obvious decision. So I could just bludgeon him and then try to finish him off quickly, but I don't think it's going to work. I think I'd rather uppercut him, which reduces the damage he does and increases the damage he takes. I don't need to block anymore. I have a metallicize of 8 coming in. Let's just whack him. So this guy gains 12 armor currently, every turn. It's down here, this plated armor, it says on the right there. Every time I deal damage to him, to his actual life bar, not to his armor, like this, that number decreases by 1. So next turn he will only have 10 armor at the start of the turn. So you're supposed to get around this guy with many smaller hits. So that way you can strip him of all of his armor. Ironclad isn't so great at doing many small hits. Yeah, he has some options, but I personally don't have those options. But the class does have them. Now, are we waiting for feed to come back around? That's fully blocked, so we'll give it a chance at the very least. Not here. Shrug is fully blocking. Okay, we'll wait for feed. Beautiful. One more fight. Snecko again. Then we hit a campfire, which we will actually be using to heal. Nice change of pace. Snecko, as always, will begin by confusing me. Which makes bludgeon cheaper, you fool! That's an expensive shrug, but I think it's the right play. 22 coming in. Painful. Take it slow. We got all the time in the world. Some enemies you don't have all the time in the world. There's a lot of enemies in this game that ramp up over time. They sort of get stronger every turn, so you do have some kind of pressure on you. I'm so glad my feed costs 3. Another shrug would be pushing it, I think. We'll take a heal. Only heals 32 hit points. You might think that going to bed gives you a full heal. That's nonsense. Try going to hospital, see how well 1 night's rest gets you. I'm thinking about this potion here, Elixir. Exhaust any number of cards in your hand. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to exhaust all 5 of these cards. What that means is they will be gone for this combat and this combat only. But as we talked about before, because those 5 cards were all pathetically weak, my deck is now stronger. I can get back to bludgeon faster, the only thing that matters. Although I'm not using it this time. Boss has some mates. Watch yourself. Although Perfected Strike has probably got substantially weaker because I just burnt some strikes. They can't all go to plan. I'm going to drink the blood potion now so I can drink the entropic brew. That just gives you 3 random potions. I was just reading through the ones I got. I suppose I should vocalize that a little bit. This one, next time you die, you don't die. You instead get healed back to 30%. I can't use that potion, but should I need it, it will save my life. Distilled Chaos. It draws 3 cards from the top of my deck, basically at random, and it will play them automatically with randomized targets. Not myself, I can't hit myself, but I will hit the random enemies with random attacks, and it won't cost me any mana. So, potentially very powerful. You could get a free bludgeon out of that, for example. And duplicate potion we've seen before. There is no need for me to Iron Wave over striking here, because I don't need the block. But the Iron Wave does more damage. Give me back my bludgeon. So this guy back here has stasis, my bludgeon plus. This guy's got my feet, I don't care about that. But this guy's got my bludgeon. Which means I don't have my bludgeon. Which makes me feel very, very concerned. Going to take some damage here, but I'm okay with it. I need to start making damage on these guys. That's a lot of shrugs. Feed has returned to me, but that's not what I'm here for. Ouch. That might hurt ever so slightly. We'll block it as best we can. Fortunately, he needs to recharge after such a powerful attack. He will do it again, though. This is one of those fights where you're kind of on the clock. Not... It didn't take long to recharge. Not completely. It is possible to block that attack entirely. I'm going to waste my feed just to get rid of it. It's not as good as some of my other cards in this fight. Upgrade my Pommel Strike. Now draws 2 cards. Very powerful card, Pommel Strike. Sure, give me my Bludgeon back. Bludgeon is in the deck. Technically it's in the discard pile, but next time I shuffle it will be in the deck. It's gonna hurt. 57, okay. I think we have to accept this is going to kill me, but Fairy in a Bottle will save me. So I don't need to block this in any capacity. Doing so will not help me at all. There goes my Fairy Potion. I want to draw, but if I draw 2 cards and I draw into Bludgeon, I'm just never going to get to use it. Okay, that's gone pretty well for me. Going to be duplicating Bludgeon next turn, I can feel it. Maybe I'm not. This fight's starting to get kind of tricky. It's about now that I wish I had some relics. 32 coming in, 8 block. An opening to get some damage in. Serious damage. So you look at this situation, and you probably think it's over. However, behold the chaos. Not an easy fight. Ooh, offering. Certainly not an easy fight, and that's only the second boss. Of 3, but still. Things are gonna get harder. Let's push. So offering, which I just fawned over a little bit there, it injures me, but it gives me great benefits. An additional 2 mana, a mana gaining card. As well as an extra 3 cards. It exhausts though, so you can only use it once per combat. But still, it's very strong. And if you're worried about the 6 HP damage that I take, don't, because we have Burning Blood here to gain that back. Although now I've taken 7 damage, which means I won't gain it back. So now I'm quite upset. Let me take out my anger on this guy. I could lose all of my gold in order to obtain a relic that I'm not allowed to use. It's tempting. I believe this is supposed to be a negative event. I can either receive 2 madness cards at the expense of 14 hit points. I like the madness card, I think it's pretty good. I can become cursed with this useless card. I don't want that. Or I can lose 5 max hit points. I'll take the madness. Don't worry if you couldn't read what madness did, you'll see it in one of these fights, I'm sure. I don't have any means of defending. So some damage is coming in right off the bat here. Okay, so Madness. It costs 1 mana, and it selects a random card that you're holding, and makes the mana cost of that card 0 for the rest of combat. It's very good if you can get it to land on the right card. I think I'm just going to use it and hope here. Anything except for defend I'm happy with. Very nice. There's a real question to be made here. So, Offering will draw me 3 cards, and then Armaments will upgrade them. Seems like a natural combo. But Armaments could be played first, in which case it will upgrade Offering, and then Offering will draw 5 cards. But those cards won't get upgraded. I'm actually going to do it this way around. Upgraded Madness costs 0, by the way. Let's shrug first. Okay, that's pretty good. Make something free, please not a defend. That's worse than a defend. I'm not gonna pommel because I don't want to draw into a good card. So you may be wondering why I don't just bludgeon these things. I could bludgeon this, for example, and then just take 1 point of damage here. They have an ability called Lifelink. You have to kill all 3 of these enemies within 2 turns of one another. Otherwise they respawn or regrow. So the challenge is really to put them all on low HP and then finish them off together. However, I may have to abandon that plan now because I think that's a bit too much damage coming in, so I might kill this guy quickly. He's dead, but he will regrow if we give him time. That's a real shame. Why did I attack this instead of this? I have no idea. So this chap will resurrect to half HP. But that's okay, we've weakened the others. We're just going to try and position everyone down at that low HP level. Take a tiny bit of damage here, but it doesn't really matter. And now our onslaught begins. All I have to do is kill this guy. That is 22 damage, so it's not guaranteed. That helps. 13 is more than 12. I'll take another Iron Wave. To the shop. My friend, help me. Perhaps we should consider a potion. I'm going to take a smoke bomb, which I wouldn't usually do, but I feel like it's quite useful here. Lets me skip 1 combat of my choice. Get rid of a strike while we're at it. I'll take an upgrade. A bit risky, but I really want to upgrade Offering. Oh, good grief. The path I've chosen is not great. However, It's almost as if I did it on purpose. No. What is going on indeed? An annoying assortment of enemies. Only one is attacking me. Maybe I can kill this. And then I won't need to block at all. Or maybe I can't. And this works pretty well. No damage taken and metallicize is working. So there's an interesting thing I can do here. I can play Defend and one of the strikes, and then Madness. I will only be holding Bludgeon and the other strike, which will give me a 50% chance of getting Madness onto Bludgeon. If it hits, I can then play Bludgeon for free. Are you a gambling man? Do it. I hate this game. Now I'm going to take so much damage. Why would I take a risk? This thing's going to blow up, by the way, if we don't kill it. So we're going to kill it. It doesn't really matter what we kill it with, just stab it. In case you're in any doubt, if you stab a bomb, it won't explode. Even if it's primed and ready to detonate. Playing Offering here will injure me further. But will it save me hit points in the long run? That's the question. I think it will. Just don't hit feed and don't hit strike. This game, I swear, it does it on purpose. Every time. Oh, of course, my free strike. Mustn't forget that. Bludgeon is very good damage. I'm going to take it. $38 is a bit much to ask for here. Yeesh. Brace yourself. I didn't even need to hit it an extra time. I thought I was so smart that because of the 0 mana feed. I thought that was the whole reason why I was getting that kill there. It wasn't. I made it take bonus damage. I could have just fed upon it and I would have been fine. I did that in the wrong order, I think. By the way, I injured myself, so that was great. Oh, it's because I didn't bother to read the number here. So this guy has thorns. Every time I attack him, I take return damage. 13, to be precise. So I have to get my block up before I hit him. And if I can't, then I probably shouldn't hit him at all. Slowly does it. We're not in a rush here. Well, now I can choose. Do I want to take 7 or do I want to take 15? Wait. Never mind. Maths is not my strong suit. I can kill it, taking 4. Or we can just wait. This could backfire on me horrifically, dragging this out in order to minimize the damage I take. But so far it's gone well. Okay, that's it. Perfect. More metallicized? Let's do it. A wonderful relic to help me in my next fight. Oh, an elite, and not just any elite, and a souped up elite. That's why it had little mist around it. It's a super elite, so I don't know how we're ever going to get past. Yeah, see you later. Almost certainly resting here. An event and 2 regular enemy fights. Choose a card to lose. I'll lose the strike, thank you. The other cards are great, I don't want to lose them. Sure, I don't mind getting that in play. Perfected Strike is really losing its luster with all the strikes that are falling out of my deck. Could play the Defend first and then the Madness, so it definitely hits an Iron Wave, which I'd prefer. Commentary's got a lot more tactical, I've noticed. Though to be fair, at the beginning it was more explanatory than anything. Let's weaken him. I don't need to shrug here, I'm only going to take 1 damage, it's fine. A 50-50 chance. I don't mind if Madness hits either of these 2. If it hits one of these 2, it's awful. I could play these both and then play Madness. But it's a waste to defend against an enemy that isn't attacking. But then it's guaranteed to hit something good. I'm actually going to do it. Of course. Why? Why would I ever think it could go well? Sure, we'll defend that. Otherwise we'll take 3 damage. 3 is a pretty big number in this game. You may notice that there is a red sword called Strength next to this guy that's increasing over time. He is getting stronger, his attacks are getting more powerful. Should probably do that first. Could bludgeon him for 63 damage, but will take a decent chunk in return. Probably not worth it. I've been hanging on to the feed, hoping to use it at the end, but sometimes you just got to cut your losses. It's not worth it. That, my friend, is a lot of damage. Can I survive that? Can I kill him? I can deal 83. I can potentially cycle back to an Iron Wave. That is a total of 93 damage, or this one would be 95 damage, I think. I can potentially kill it. If I don't kill it, 72 is coming in. I have 52. 60, 65. And I can draw into an 11. I would live. Okay. I didn't think things would get quite so close over here. But by my maths, I survived this. Yeesh. There is no way I'm surviving that. Okay, this is... I mean, I have to go for the kill, but I can't kill it. Behold, my 9 damage shy. Well, I'll be. Failure. So you may have noticed I wasn't playing that entirely seriously, and the reason for that was because I thought the achievement was very easy to achieve. It's laid out like it's some incredible challenge, and I thought, no, just walk it. But I didn't even get to fight the final boss. Interesting. Perhaps this challenge is worthy of some attention. Or perhaps we just got unlucky. Let's see. Okay, so, here we go. Final boss. Attempt number 13 of the challenge, none of the final boss. First time getting to the final boss. This deck is a strength-based deck. If you look underneath my character, you will see a sword, a red sword with the number 6. That's how much strength I currently have. What strength does is, every time you yield damage, your damage is increased by that amount. So, if you would deal 10 damage, but you have 2 strength, you deal 12. Simple stuff. The idea behind this deck is to use cards that give me strength, and then play Limit Break Plus in the bottom left corner. That will double my current strength. I want to play that card as many times as I can. Then what we want to do is we want to use multiple hitting moves. You'll see them coming up. Because strength obviously scales better with attacks that hit multiple times, because then you get to benefit from it multiple times. But this boss has an interesting mechanic. You may notice a clock beneath him with a 9 on it. Every time I play a card, his clock increases by 1. Once his clock gets to 12, it's the end of my turn. He takes it from me immediately. It ends. He gains 2 strength himself, and it becomes his turn. So part of this fight is me deciding how many cards I want to play per turn. For example, if I can play 6 cards this turn and then 6 cards next turn, that's pretty good. However, if I play 6 cards this turn and then 5 cards next turn, then my third turn is going to be useless because it's going to be 1 card and done. So we do have to be very careful about how many cards we're playing. Realistically, I can't play 5 cards this turn, so we're going to have to be a bit cautious. Use our healing, because why not? It's always going to heal 16, no matter when I use it. May as well use it now. Play the defend, just because I don't want to take too much damage. But I could have done a bit more damage there, but I left myself 2 cards for this turn. So I shall use thusly. That is a lot of damage. I'm down to 8 health, and he has just under half of his HP left. And soon he won't have just under half of his HP left. He'll have... exactly half of his HP left. Okay, just maximize damage as much as I can there. That is going to kill me. There is no way I am defending that. I need to check what I can draw into. If I draw into Limit Break, I'll be fine. Because then I'll double my strength and all of my attacks will do 24 more damage. Flash of Steel and Pommel Strike are 2 cards in my hand that can draw. Flash of Steel costs 0, draws 1. Pommel Strike costs 1, draws 2. Thunderclap I choose to play because it will make all of my other attacks stronger. There's a lot of real decisions to be made here about how to spend my mana. I need the draw. I can't kill him without drawing. And to get Limit Break, but I did get Sword Boomerang. With 1 mana remaining. 30 damage 4 times. Behold. The challenge is complete. And you can't see it, but in the bottom right corner of the screen, my Steam overlay tells me the achievement has been achieved. And now, I sleep. There are optional little secrets you can do throughout the game in order to fight a secret boss, an extra boss, which is why that said victory with a question mark on the end, and I died instead of celebrated. But behold, Who Needs Relics? Complete. And that took a damn sight longer than I thought it would. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This has been Slay the Spire with me, Artegra Omega, getting the Who Needs Relics achievement. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. It's something a little different to what I normally do. It's kind of similar, I suppose, but put a little bit of a challenge twist on it. But at its core, it was just an LP. You know what else is an LP? This is. I also do reviews like this. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall see you then.